Jordan Allen, 6'4" guard from Dover, Delaware.
Jordan Allen, and he dunks it in. What a play. But wait.
Coming out of a city like that, we're so small to where you don't get as much exposure, you know, like you can drive through the state within an hour, 45 minutes, north to south of the state. Like I can get to Philly in 30 minutes from my house, you know, so coming from there, you don't get as much exposure, and you gotta work harder than everybody else. On the days people are taking off, you gotta make sure you're working because you gotta seize every opportunity you get because you may not get it again. Single mom, raised six boys on her own, and it's kind of rough, you know, not having a father figure and looking forward to other places and things like that. But you'll find it. Like I found it in my high school coach once I got to high school, you know. He kind of showed me the way and took me in like his own, you know, and it kind of inspired me that I had someone that believed in me other than my mother, like a father figure like that. And it was rough for me early on, so I kind of stuck with football. You know, I wanted to be a football player. And I was sophomore year when I got pulled up to varsity fully. I had a breakout year coming off the bench. I was averaging like 18 to 20 points a game. And that's when I kind of realized like I can take it to the next level.
Jordan Allen.
And by my junior year, I led the state in scoring, average of 27 a game, I think, something like that. 27 a game, number 4 team in the state. Senior year, I averaged less points, but I did more things like rebound and assist and stuff like that. Before that season, before my senior season, I played with We Are One, AAU, and that was the best team in the country at the time. And I had a good summer, ended up coming back, went from 0 scholarships to about 18 scholarships in one summer, Division I, and it kind of turned everything and put everything into perspective for me. That I finally got someone taking a chance on a kid from Dover, Delaware, where nobody really knows where it's at. I had people tell me like, "Where's that at?" Delaware, like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm like, man, it's all right. I got to put us on the map somehow.
You're out of high school, you know, what scholarships, you know, got your attention, and then where did you finally end up going?
My senior year of high school, I didn't do so well in the classroom. So going into college, I had to redshirt my first year no matter where I went. And once school started realizing that, everybody really backed off and only had like 3 out of 18 to pick from. It was Ryder, Iona, and Delaware State, the only schools that was going to be like, we'll bring you in and let you redshirt. We don't care about this year. I ended up choosing Ryder because I built a relationship with the coaches. They were at every game, every workout. They were driving from Jersey to Delaware, things like that. And
they were committed.
They were committed to me, and it showed me that someone actually cared.
Jordan Allen's a young man that we're counting on that sat out this past year. Obviously, I consider him a freshman. I've seen him, you know, now in the last year and a half. He's a young man that needs to step up.
But my second year there, things got a little rough. You know, me and the coach, we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things, and it kind of like I had to take control of what I wanted out of my career from there. I couldn't let no one else control where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do. And I got a daughter to feed, so I had to make sure I put myself in the best position possible to make sure I could provide for her in the future. After that year, I went from playing to not playing, not starting, things like that, and it kind of messed with me like mentally. And mentally, I couldn't take it anymore. You know, like it put me at the lowest point of my life, like classroom drop, everything like that, and it kind of, I wanted to get out of there because I knew mentally it wouldn't be good for me. So I decided to transfer, and then as I was transferring, I put myself in the mental hospital because I was so depressed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I tried killing myself twice.
Wow.
That summer. And when I was in the mental hospital, I lost a lot of schools and connections and stuff like that when I was trying to transfer. And then I got out, I seen my email, and there was only one school left that was still willing to take me, and that was Lynn. That's the only school I had left, the last school, last option. And I kind of took it, and I'm just like, I took a leap of faith, like, I'm going. I went there on a visit with my mind made up, like, I'm committed. They didn't know I was committing, but I took it in, I went down there, took the visit, fell in love with the campus, love waking up the palm trees, stuff like that, so I'm like, I can live here. So at the end of my visit down there, I committed, and it turned out to be the best thing possible. I had to really buckle down and prove to everybody that I wasn't just a D1 transfer that coming down with an attitude and an ego and things like that. I had to prove myself. My coach made sure I proved myself, you know. And on top of me proving myself, he was able to get good exhibition games for us. And we ended up being able to play the Florida Gators, where I got to really show my true talent for what I was.
From deep. Allen again from the logo. Allen again.
Oh my!
Allen limited.
Off at net. Off 1 foot. Late in the clock. Nothing but net.
And we ended up scraping by getting to the tournament. We took Florida Southern, the #1 team in our conference. We took them down to the wire. I just ran out of gas. We lost, but I go home for COVID and it's quarantine. I had a lot of things to talk about with my high school coach, my mom, my family, everybody. It was the hardest decision to make, but I made it so quick. Once I made my mind up, I made it quick, and I remember calling Trayvon Duvall, which is like one of my close friends in the basketball world and stuff like that. And I called him, I said, bro, I need an agent. I'm gonna go pro. Put me on the phone with one of his guys, and they reached out to Kerry, who I'm with now, Kerry Carter, and spoke to him. He saw my film, he loved it. The next day, he calls me back again, and he's like, when you want to come down to Houston? I'm like, shit, today if I can. He booked me the flight for that night. I was in Houston by that night. I had to pack everything up. And I was only supposed to be down here for a month. A month turned to 3 months. 3 months turned into 6 months. 6 months turned into a year. Now I'm at 2 years now. 2 years now. I've been out in Houston with him, and he took me places I never thought, meeting people I never thought I'd meet, and it was the best. I say taking a leap of faith all the time, but this was the best one. It was the best leap of faith. We were doing this. A lot of the same shit we do.
What happened whenever Houston Push came around with TBL and more opportunities?
It came about randomly. I never knew about the TBL at all. And I heard it was a semi-pro league or whatever. And Steve Francis, he invited me to his house to talk about it. He was like, I want you to be my guy, but we're about to start this team. I'm like, okay, cool. And then going from there, it was just, I didn't have anything going with NBA overseas. I don't want to go overseas right away because that's just going to plan B before plan A even happens. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to resort to that. So the TBL was just like a stepping stone to keep myself going, keep myself playing, and keep myself in rhythm. That was probably, if not the best, the second best team I've played on as a unit. You know, on and off the court, like we was just like, we was locked in like we known each other for years.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, you wouldn't expect that for people coming from all over. You got people from New York, you got people from Houston, Louisiana, California, all over.
Delaware,
you know what I'm saying? Like you got us all over, like from everywhere, and it was kind of cool to see how we gelled so quick. We were all like, we were literally like brothers. Like I still call most of them to this day, all the time. We'd talk for 20, 30 minutes. And yeah, I can say it's a brotherhood, you know, yeah. It was a fun experience. You know, I never played professional or anything close to it. So to have that, being able to get paid to do that and things like that, it was fun. And I wish I would have finished, but I had things more I had to do. I was going to tryouts. Yeah. Once I left Houston Push, I had tryouts. I went to Dallas, tried out for the G League team and stuff like that. So I worked out with the Texas Legends. I went over there. After I left Houston Push, I killed it. That was probably the best I played in my life. You know, that was the first game after we did drills and all that. I probably scored 20 straight points to start off the first game. And then after that, it was just a fun day. Come to find out, can't sign to them, have to go to the G League draft.
You got drafted by Fort Wayne, correct?
Fort Wayne. I got drafted by Fort Wayne. Went there for training camp. Wasn't the best fit for me, but they motivated me to change how I approach things, how I move as a person, and how I present myself. You know, they woke me up, and when they sent me home, it made me home. I didn't like the feeling of being sent home, especially when I know I can do so much more, improve myself more. So we came home after Fort Wayne, after training camp, and we just grinded it out for 3 months. Grinded out for the rest of October, November, December. And right as the new year came, I was on vacation with my girlfriend. I was on the beach, chilling, and get a call, might be going to New York. I was like, wow, what? And then the whole day, everything was in the works, talks was happening and things like that. On the 31st, pack your bags, you're going to New York. This is the start of the journey right here. I manifested bringing in the new year the right way, and it happened literally on January 1st. My first day of the new year, I was in New York doing COVID tests and Knicks facilities, stuff like that. It was the best way to bring in the new year. And from there it's just work and enjoying, soaking in the moment and trying to prove myself that I'm an NBA player.
So you go to New York, obviously not the Knicks, but G League, so it'd be the Westchester Knicks.
Yeah.
You had a breakout game, 9 threes in one of those games.
Kerry had told me, we had spoke on the phone. He was like, you need to turn this shit up. You need to show them that this ain't no game. And that day before, I was in the gym twice by myself, just shooting on the gun and things like that. And I felt myself catching the rhythm. And I knew I was playing because we only had 7 players at the time. So I knew I was going to play minutes. It was only going to be on me to make shots. And I stayed locked in the whole game. I remember starting off the first 2 quarters, I was 4 for 4.
Is able to get himself in front of Hernandez and go
Allen, that's a line drive 3.
into the lane and score like that.
McBride into the gap on the kick out. Allen, he's got another triple. Sims, Brandon Williams, Jordan Allen, VJ King, and Blake Francis. That's another 3. There's some guys, that are too hurt to play, but not too hurt to celebrate. You love that from your teammates. Allen, another 3. He is 4 of 4 from beyond the arc.
4 for 4 turned for 5 for 6, and then it turned into 7 for 9. And I'm like, holy shit. Then I didn't even know I was close to breaking the franchise record.
Not the rule here. Allen, one more. 8 triples, and he shot that one in rhythm. This was a lopsided game.
I will remember it more so because, and that's the 9th triple by Jordan Allen.
There's people that want to see you do good and see you do things that you never done. Because the whole time I was with the Knicks, they got to know me as I've come from nowhere. They would have never known a kid from Delaware, Dover, Delaware, to do what I'm doing now. Being off the radar, being out for 2 years and coming in and playing. And that game, it woke everybody up. They actually created me on 2K after that.
Yeah, they did.
So I'm like, why I ain't gotta create myself no more? I can just go on there and just download this roster on there. So it was kind of cool. I kind of put my name on the map and represented myself well when I was in New York. So after going through the Westchester, going to Cleveland, I was more open. I was more to being myself and letting people know about me and just being that laughing, fun person I always am. And they loved it. They loved everything about it. And I just got to have fun, and they let me play freely. They didn't care about a shot I took or anything like that. It was just play hard and just be you.
Snowboard, baby. Guess what? We out.
I'm draft eligible again for this year. So now it's just about training, going through pre-draft stuff, getting my body right, staying in shape, things like that. Bettering myself in all aspects, working on the handle so I don't gotta hear he's not a point guard or he's not this, he's not that. I want to be able to show that I can bring the ball up the court, I can run the offense, and also be a 2 guard and score the ball as well.
that you would give to anybody? Just a little ending, if you would say.
Little ending. I'm gonna give an ending about me. I'm the best shooter in America. If not now, I will be.
Jordan Allen out here in the TBT, or is it Ray Allen? Because this looks like Jesus Shuttlesworth out here playing basketball at this point. Because this guy is putting it all together. 6 triples, and he's still not done.